What's the hubbub? Did James Gunn just get replaced as the director of a major DCU movie? I'll get to that later in this video, after this first segment. By the way, please smash the like button for today's video and subscribe. Tap the notification bell, and it lets you know when I drop a new video. Back to it now. The SnyderVerse was just restored, and a full movie is on the way. Well, in a potential unlicensed AI future, maybe, but a roadblock is in the way. Active fan campaigns to restore the SnyderVerse continue, driven by hopes that a new owner for Warner Brothers Discovery, potentially including interest from partners related to ByteDance or other major studios, might revive Zack Snyder's DC universe. Despite intense ongoing fan efforts, Warner Brothers has previously indicated no plans to continue this specific cinematic universe, as the studio is focusing on the new DC universe, DCU under James Gunn. According to previous trades reports, both Netflix and Paramount would keep the new Gunverse for the immediate future. Reasoning between any buyer of the WBD includes the costs of putting a new DC verse together, scrapping existing plans, some of which are in production and some already having solid release dates. Also, the normies and fans alike finally understand the new Superman in David Collinsworth within a new verse. At this point, it would be mass confusion replacing Gunn, especially with the man who was fired in Zack Snyder. With that said, there is a loud DCEU SnyderVerse fandom online who thinks they have a solution. If studios won't restore the SnyderVerse, they will take it to writing prompts scene by scene in AI programs. However, it may not be that easy to produce this fan movie restoration while there is no skill or programming knowledge needed. There are potential licensing issues. According to Variety, Warner Brothers has joined a parade of studios in blasting ByteDance for blatant infringement on its new AI video service, accusing the Chinese company of facilitating user-generated knockoffs of its iconic characters. The studio's legal counsel fired off a letter on Tuesday to John Ruggivan, the general counsel of ByteDance, who happens to have previously worked as general counsel at Warner Bros. The letter takes note of Ruggivan's prior service in defense of the copyrights of Superman and Batman. Warner Brothers demanded that ByteDance cease training on its characters and implement guardrails to prevent further infringement. ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, released Seedance 2.0 last week, announcing it represents a substantial leap in generation quality over the prior versions. Within days, social media sites were flooded with cinematic-looking clips of Tom Cruise fighting Brad Pitt, Batman fighting Spider-Man, Superman fighting Thanos, and other permutations. Now, on to another topic. James Gunn has been replaced as director on a major movie. This just in. He is no longer the director of Supergirl. It turns out in secrecy they hired a director named Craig Gillespie. I know, folks, it is cray-cray, to quote Matthew McConaughey.
I'm in my car, I'm high as a kite, I'm listening to rock and roll, action, and there's the chick. All right, all right, all right.
That's amazing. All right, I am making light of it, but something the Snyder Bros keep doing is pinning the Supergirl movie as being fully James Gunn. It takes place in space and he's in charge, so they are dumb enough to think it's a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I get the Snyder cult likes to make up fake stories and run with them as true, but let's just look at the disrespect to Craig for a moment. Do you know why Sebastian Stan has supported and praised him recently?
Supergirl.
Yes.
That movie, I'm going to raise the bar. That movie is going to be f***ing great because it's got Craig Gillespie directing it, who's an unbelievable director.
No, he isn't shilling. I'm sure that's the narrative in the DCEU Snyder fandom, but it's actually because he worked with him on I, Tonya and Found. Craig to be a fantastic director who literally shoots scenes in mind of actors' performance.
I never even said that. You're full of shit.
Tanya, get in the house.
I'm not going inside with you. Why would I go inside? Ow! Don't fucking touch me. I swear.
He's not just framing shots visually for aura. He's getting the best out of performances as a focal point. Let's look at his film log as you disrespect the man. It's actually quite an extensive history and solid film resume. While you insult his standing as the director due to James Gunn existing, the reality is he will not be a yes man. He was hired to essentially do what he wants within the script green lit. It's like him being able to go, don't worry about fitting this into the DCU. Worry about it being its own thing that will connect. But primary goal is make it a good standalone movie effort. You guys don't seem to get the point of why they even went nearly obscure regarding a seemingly less popular character in Supergirl. It's to build out the verse with quality movies. Snyder riders are being such groupies to their lord, they aren't thinking in terms of something being good or bad. It's labeled bad before seeing it, simply because it doesn't fall under a SnyderVerse column. There is literally no chance they did a green light for Supergirl, thinking it needed to dominate the box office. They just want to rebuild reputation, piling more respected movies as they rehabilitate the brand. Doing that is not an easy task when the superhero genre has been on the downturn. I don't think you naysayers see the endgame here. Instead of doing the impossible to compete with Avengers and Spider-Man, they are saying, let's make a fresh movie off this Woman of Tomorrow storyline. Let's forget the perfect no-flaws girl, boss style, and make Supergirl an individual. They are literally rewriting the roadmap in hopes that adding up these movies, the sum will start to return higher at the box office later. This isn't cope, this is strategy. I've seen rumors that both the production and marketing budgets of Supergirl are potentially, with tax credits, included nearly 35% less than Superman. To put that in perspective, after tax credits, we have a confirmed Superman production budget of $225 million, with a marketing budget that went up to $125 million. Reportedly, that was an all-in of $350 million. If we apply 35% less to that, we have Supergirl at around $225 million, roughly as an all-in cost. When Superman crossed the $560 million mark, it officially went past the break-even. This is going to put Supergirl at around $300 to $350 million at her break-even point. I personally think it should do in the 400 millions range optimistically, and if it massively exceeds this, then a 500 million figure would be amazing. That's my ceiling estimate at the moment. The Snyder nutters are going to say it needs to do more than Superman because they don't want to set realistic expectations, and even when the DCU is making smart decisions, you have Restore Snyderverse channels taking negative angles. Look at Clayface getting its date pushed out further. Here, Aaron Fischer snickers as if that is some kind of loss.
DC Studios' Clayface movie has been delayed from September 11th of 2026 to about 6 weeks later to October 23rd, 2026. Par for the course for Warner Brothers.
For the DCU, no Aaron. They are just aligning the type of movie which fits within the horror genre to release closer to Halloween. It's actually a brilliant decision. They can even market the movie to the horror film crowd while still retaining superhero fans. You need a primary plan, but the ability to pivot, that's called managing. Speaking of Batman, James Gunn knows it would be confusing to run two different versions at the same time. When he saw Matt Reeves was finally getting his sequel to the Batman going, that's right, YouTube harsh critics, it was not cancelled.
The Batman 2 is canceled, you guys.
He decided to focus on the Superman saga, delivering a sequel Man of Tomorrow with Brainiac. After the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow film, I stated rumors months back of Brave and the Bold being a priority, but needing space from Reeves' Batman. I said Adria Arjona months back for Wonder Woman rumor. As her agency was told, she's who James Gunn is eyeing. None of it official, but now you're seeing similar reports. Booster Gold, by the way, still considered actively in development. It's all timing and planning to roll these projects out. There's a sad copium where some just want a fake win as their dead flop verse of the Snyder DCEU is over.
It says James Gunn's reboot turned a profit. So maybe that's including with all the DVD sales and stuff like that. But it flopped in theaters and it wasn't well received. Neither was Creature Commandos. Neither was Peacemaker. And then you have even his Suicide Squad.
You restore Snyder channels, keep saying Superman flopped. It's like your only concept of time is the pre-COVID superhero boom era numbers. You know, before we had simultaneous VOD streaming of today, while movies are even still in the theater. Fun fact, Superman is the only superhero movie of 2025 to even top 600 million. It beat all 3 Marvel movies, which didn't even hit that number. Man of Steel against its top Marvel competition in 2013. Iron Man's sequel did over 1.2 billion. Man of Steel, like Superman 2025, got into the 600 millions. You can't even call Superman a flop without Man of Steel being one. Then you say it wasn't well received? Did some SnyderVerse echo chamber tell you their review is the gospel? Another fun fact, all that you mentioned are fresh ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, which is an aggregate of multitudes of reviews to clue you in. Having the majority reviews as fresh is a good thing. I know you think Batman vs. Superman was great, though. Go restore the Marthaverse, sure. File this under an easy debunk. Think about the logic here. Do you really believe they choose a more obscure film option like Supergirl without realistic expectations in mind? Or Clayface, which has a super low budget? Also, what do you think of the AI SnyderVerse restore path? Leave your thoughts below in the comments section. As here, we like free thought and opinions with civil debate. With that, it's today's hubbub. No SnyderVerse, no problem. Look up, not back, as the DC soars, with eyes to the skies, as Supergirl joins Superman in flight soon. Gunn and facts keep winning. Unsourced Facebook reports are where the Snyder writers get their information, so it's no surprise they are usually wrong. Take care of yourselves and others.